This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Amy.
Locker room hype, get ready for the drop.
Welcome. You're watching the Amy crossover. Great to have your company this afternoon. I'm Kath Durkin, joined by Kane Pittman, Damon Lowry, as we always are, of course, on a Sunday afternoon. A couple of great results, I suppose, for the top four perspective shaping that this afternoon that we've seen. The Sydney Kings and the Perth Wildcats doing what they need to do. We'll start with the Kings. What did you make of their performance against the Taipans just then?
Well, they took care of business. The Cairns Taipans, a little bit like Damon in the swimming pool, just trying to keep their head above water for much of this game. But ultimately, the Sydney Kings closed them out. And they do need to. As much as we've spoken about the run that they have, they can't afford to drop one of these games against the lower-ranked teams.
It's business as usual. It was like, I don't want to say it was a training run because Cairns actually put up a spirited fight. But Sydney do what they kind of always do. They're on the roll right now. I think that's their 5th or 6th win in a row. So, they roll along nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're seeing Xavier Cooks there, the man of the moment, the man of the season, really, from many perspectives. But we'll talk about his performance today. 23 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. He's just going from strength to strength at the moment, isn't he?
He is. He's the connector. He does a bit of everything for this team. Defensive versatility. He can score. He can facilitate. And I actually think if you talk about the top dunks, I would say Jalen Adams has the #1 dunk for the season, but Xavier Cooks might have the best package of dunks. He's starting to have quite the highlight
reel, doesn't he?
He's creeping up. Xavier, he's like a Swiss Army knife. Does everything right. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And he actually, you see that earpiece fall out?
Yeah.
You guys get that? And he actually hit a 3 today. And so it's only a matter of time. Cookie's playing awesome.
Yeah, we love it. Very quick from you. Now, we are very quick today, given what transpired in the game before that we just came on. We've got to talk about the 36ers and the Wildcats, of course. The Wildcats, as I said at the top of the show there, doing what they needed to do. The 36ers hanging in there as best they could. But Bryce Cotton, again, just a standout performance from him. 27 points, I think it was today, and a whole lot of threes as well.
He's good.
Is he disrespected?
Look, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'll tell you what, here's a number that is crazy from this game. Bryce Cotton played a bit over 30 minutes in this game in his time on the court. Perth were plus 32, which I'm not a mathematician, but that tells me in the 9.5 minutes that Bryce Cotton was on the bench, they were outscored by 13 points. When he's on the floor, his team is very hard to beat.
Remember all that rubbish everybody was talking about, how Bryce gets off the slow starts? Where are those people at now? I mean, I thought it was ridiculous. Bryce is who he is. He's gone home. He's had a couple of days off. He, got to relax it back in WA. He's back over here on a little miniature road trip, and picked up right where he left off.
Yeah, it was certainly a very strange start, I suppose, because the Wildcats, they were up at quarter time, which we don't normally see at the moment. I think it's their second time in 10 games that they managed to do that. So a good start, and I suppose that's where the game was sort of won in the end, really, because they managed to get in a 9-0 run and just managed to hold that for the game.
No doubt. As Corey mentioned, a bit of home cooking for a couple of days. A bit of home cooking, and the Wildcats were looking pretty good. Maybe that's going to fix their first quarter problems. I think the craziest number from this game, Kath, you mentioned it when we were upstairs, they had 28 fewer shot attempts in this game and still won by 19. That's almost impossible.
That is so hard to do. See, the problem is Adelaide misses their shots.
Yeah.
Perth makes their shots. It's simple. It's a make-or-miss league.
True.
Yeah, shooting at 30% from the field, you're never going to do it with the amount of shots that they had as well. Now, we talk about MVP candidates. We saw perhaps one of them testing Bryce Cotton's waters last night, Joe Luala-Chul, of course. He had 20 points, 8 from 16 from the field, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks. He's the main contender at this point, I guess. We look at Xavier Cooks as well, pressing. What do we think?
Who you got?
I got JLA. He didn't even get out of first gear yesterday. 20 and 8, couple of blocks. They're getting a win. It's just too easy for him right now. I'm just looking forward to the finals. Let's get to the Final Four.
Best player and the best team is a pretty good formula for MVP, there's no doubt. I mean, I think going by the numbers I just mentioned with Bryce Cotton, I think it's fair to say he's pretty valuable for the Perth Wildcats, but I do think that these two are at the very top of the tree. Bryce, we knew was going to do it coming into the season. JLA and what he's been able to produce, there's no doubt that this has been a little bit of a surprise to this level consistently.
Yeah, well, that's the question, I suppose, when we're having this discussion. Can Melbourne win without JLA on the court, do you think?
Well, I don't think they can win the title. I mean, the way he's dominating down there, and Hookporty's obviously coming on strong, and I think should be starting to move into the draft calculations, but they won't win the title without JLA.
I agree. Not the whole thing.
Yeah.
You'd think that that's the main factor you would say in that argument. Now, we're going to get to your Hooyah now, and we cast the net quite a fair way these days for Hooyahs, but we've got to give credit where credit's due.
We're just not a regular basketball show. So it could be anywhere in the world. Right now, we're going to go to America. Bull Dad, we'll call this guy.
Okay.
So you got a son who's a bull rider. Don't ask me why, but 3 seconds into the ride, he's out.
Hard fall.
Unconscious. He don't know where he is. Bull wants blood. And in comes out of the crowd, Bull Dad took the hit for his kid, as if he didn't already create this child, literally. Now he protects him with his life. Would you do that for me, Kane?
Of course.
Is Kane your dad? Is that what we're
Why you gotta go to weird places?
Damon, I would. This couch, I would do that.
Where'd you find that video? You into your bull riding, are you?
No. Anyway, Hooyah to the Bull Dad. Way to step up and save your son's life.
Yeah. Beauty. All right, excellent. We'll get you to work on that as well. We do need to go to a break. When we return, we're going to go through the Amy breakdown. Southeast Melbourne and the Hawks coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Hello and welcome to another episode of At The Line. I'm Felix Von Hoff. That there is the ultimate tips to Daniel Parisi, but none of that really matters because there's one man that we really want to zone in on today, and that is Ja Morant. Allen Iverson tweeted out MVP sooner rather than later. I reckon it's coming later. You reckon it might be coming sooner?
No, well, I think that he's, warranted to be in this conversation right now because the Memphis Grizzlies are presenting as the equal two seed in the Western Conference at .700 on 43 wins, and they've been electric this year since they were at probably .500, 12-12 at the start of the year. Golden State Warriors at 43 wins. You transition to the Eastern Conference and you've got the Miami Heat at 41 wins as the 1 seed. Ja Morant's doing things that we saw Russell Westbrook do 10 years ago. I think that he's in the conversation, but the two big guys are the favourites for me.
Oh, it's DeMar DeRozan for me. Put some respect on his name, you clown. Anyway, moving over to the games in focus. Let's jump into the Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Houston Rocket. My man, Ja Morant, now, in his last 2 games, 46 and 52. We're getting a really, really good price here for him to continue that role. The Houston Rockets cannot play any defence whatsoever. Ja Morant, 50 plus for me, $15 odds. That is juicy, to say the least. Where are you playing?
Well, I'll take your jar leg and I'll combine that with Desmond Bain. Desmond Bain's averaging 17 points on the year. Ja Morant's averaging 28 points on the year. So we'll get 45, 46 at net there. But I think that there's an upside against the Houston Rockets, who do not defend. They're a bottom 3 defensive unit in the NBA. I think that Ja will combine for points here with Desmond Bain. They'll connect from deep.
Well, next up, your love affair with Jokic continues as the Denver Nuggets take on the New Orleans Pelicans. For me, I'm all about the Pelicans here. Ingram and CJ McCollum to combine for 60 plus points is going to be my market here. McCollum looks like he's just fitting into this unit pretty nicely. Where's Zion? Nobody knows. Where are you playing?
Well, that's a tidy bet, but I will play Nikola Jokic here. I think that he needs to make the Denver Nuggets stay relevant in the Western Conference. We know that they're trying to avoid a play-in seed. Look, a 30-point triple-double, that is very tricky, and he hasn't been able to do that for his past 15 games. But we're getting a price at $7, so I think take a look at Nikola Jokic to have a big game against the Pelicans.
Love it. Big superstars, big games. We're predicting it all. Ja Morant, 50 points. Enjoy and gamble responsibly.
Thank you very much to the boys from Sportsbet there. Now, time for the Amy breakdown. We've got the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix and the Illawarra Hawks coming up. Should be a cracker. Second v 5th now, but Hawks looking to try and get back into 4th after what transpired with the Kings a little earlier. Gents, it shapes as a cracker.
It does, and I think the Sydney Kings have gone straight from Kudos Bank Arena to the pub to have a few lemonades and cheer on the Phoenix in this game. They will be hoping, I think, that Illawarra lose, because the Hawks are the team that a lot of people are predicting are going to drop out. But as we flip the switch on the Phoenix, we've discussed it. They've got a tough few games here, and this is a game that you want to take care of business at home.
If you can beat the good teams, now we take you serious. So Illawarra Hawks, you know, you've had some good wins throughout the year, but have you beat anybody really good? So now, if the Hawks can get this win, now I take them serious and they keep in touch with the Kings. Yeah,
it'll certainly be a good barometer for the competition as a whole. We can almost set our watches to Mitch Creek doing what he does best. 19 points in the last 16 games for him. But in terms of others who haven't been firing recently, we've got the likes of Joe Chi, who hasn't really been doing too much in the last couple of games, as well as Xavier Munford as well. He's dropped off a bit. So they've still got their point scorers, of course, around him with Brokoff and all the likes of them, but others who aren't performing at the moment, who are you liking to see stand up from them?
Well, we had Mitch Creek on the crossover last night, and he mentioned the fact that with Joe Chi, he can do so much on the defensive end, on offense. He's such a big presence that he doesn't necessarily have to dominate the game and score 20 points. But Munford, 13 points over the last 2 games. He's had moments. He's had big scoring games. He kind of shares the responsibility with Kyle Adnam, but Munford is the X factor. X is the X factor.
Them two guys, as we just saw there, even stand next to each other during the national anthem. So Kyle and Xavier, between the two of them, you're looking at probably 30 points. So I'll take it. I don't need one guy. I don't need Xavier Munford to get 22 and Kyle get 8. As a collective committee of point guards, as long as they get the job done. Same thing with Joe Chi, him and Brandon Ashley. All I need Joe Chi to do is get some rebounds, get a couple block shots, don't foul out, and set some good picks. Now, in my era, as a former point guard, he'd be doing a whole lot more if a guy like me was running things. But in this current era, then so be it. This is what we get.
I'm sure he's got you hardened up, set his watch to that. No. Now, in terms of the Hawks side of things, Justinian Jessup, he had a season-high 23 points the other night against the Breakers. You'd just be wanting him to roll on and do that again tonight. It's more important tonight for him to be doing that kind of stuff.
He is one of the guys in the Hawks, when we talk about the way they play, a lot of guys that can score in isolation. Justinian Jessup is a guy that they can set up. He's lethal catch and shoot. Have they been finding him enough? I know you like teams to run sets. Are they running enough plays for Justinian Jessup?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Now, they get him the ball. I don't know if that's really a set, though. I see him come flying up to the top of the key, gets a handoff, and then maybe a ball screen, or he just goes one-on-one. He'll just stare you down and shoot a 3. To me, that's not really a set. But he's good at making those kind of shots. So as long as he gets his shot attempts, and if he shoots, 40, 45%, he'll get those kind of points.
And Tyler Harvey as well. I think he had 20 points or something the last time these two sides met and was pretty crucial. So just expecting the same from him tonight, hopefully.
Well, his efficiency has been down this season, but last game against New Zealand, as you pointed to, Kathy had 19 points. He was 8 for 13 from the field. And in the half court is where Illawarra's offense has got plugged up a little bit. In transition, they're pretty much unstoppable. One of the best transition teams in the league. In the half court, though, because Tyler Harvey is scoring not as efficiently as he was last season, he struggled a little bit, and that offense sometimes gets stuck in mud.
Yeah, and they take shots that you just wouldn't normally take. So
Right.
Tyler's going to take at least 2 to 3 shots that you just go, hang on a minute, that's a bad shot. But he'll hit a couple of those.
Yeah.
And they still got to get other guys involved. I like to see when Tyler's off the ball, let Xavier Raton Mays play a little bit more to point, let him run the floor. But yeah, Tyler, we're not really worried. Anywhere between 15 and 25, pencil him in.
Yeah, and we touched on the broader context of this game off the top with Southeast Melbourne's tough run. The Hawks just dropping out of the top 4 now, but the Kings, they're real genuine contenders from a fair way back. So you'd say these two teams would be looking at that pretty broadly.
They would. Who's winning this game? Because I think Illawarra is the team to watch here in terms of the 5. I said it the other day. 5 doesn't go into 4, Damon. But this is a big game.
Quick
I like your math. I'm going with the Phoenix. They're on the road. They're at home. Illawarra, happy if you can prove me wrong. But I don't know.
They haven't had a statement win yet, the Hawks.
Correct.
All season long. They have not. This would be the time to do it. Sunday night in Melbourne on the road. This is potentially where they can start to make a run.
Yeah, prime time. So if we boil it down to one assessment from you guys, who's winning?
Oh, I think the Phoenix. They've been pretty solid at home.
Phoenix.
Yep, absolutely.
My other prediction is Damon is going to take a shot to end the show and miss.
Okay, well, we're going to have to see how that goes. We are out of time. So Kane Pittman, Damon Lowry, thank you so much for your time. Do stick with us, though. John Cain Arena coming up next. Of course, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix and the Illawarra Hawks. Wasn't ready. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's fair.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Amy.
Those of you who are keen on our social media and our website, if you want to make sure you head to Southeast Melbourne Phoenix as well, I'm doing you. Kyle, that's I'm doing you. Can you explain how Kyle went in his artistic skills?
Kyle has a lot to learn in his artistic skills. He tried to move really hard, which was great, but unfortunately he's going to have to spend a lot more time in the schools if he wants to be a bit better.
Shows that we saw right now.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Trade.
Well, the championship race may be heating up as well, but the one that I want to focus on here is the MVP. Now, I've sung the praises of big JLA there, Joe Luala-Chul. $6. He's in for a pretty long price of around $101 he opened with Sportsbet, but the man at the top here, he is very, very hard to ignore, Bryce Cotton. Now, I just don't like the $2 price because a lot can happen. It's only the halfway point of the NBL season. You look at a guy like Jalen Adams, who is absolutely dominating, and he's showy. That's the sort of stuff that the MVP judges like. If the Sydney Kings keep rolling, that price is going to definitely come in creaky. He's playing well as well, but right now, Bryce Cotton's probably the pick, although the price is a bit low. I got to go JLA for value. Enjoy and gamble responsibly.
Round 14 of the Hungry Jacks NBL is one of the most important of the season. It's Indigenous round, and there are many Indigenous players, officials and administrators, both past and present, that have made significant contributions to our game. And it's important we continue to celebrate, recognise and acknowledge Indigenous culture in Australia and New Zealand. Southeast Melbourne's win on Friday in Adelaide gives them a tight hold on second, and it was very much thanks to that man, their star, Mitch Creek, with his 20 29 points. Illawarra, on the other hand, well, their backs are against the wall as they fight for a top 4 finish. But if anyone can do it, it'll be on the shoulders of that man, Tyler Harvey, and their head coach, Brian Gorgon. Hello and welcome to John Cain Arena. I'm Jenny Screen and thank you for joining us wherever you are around Australia this afternoon. And to the gents in studio, Simon Mitchell, he seems very happy with his second place of his men, but he wants them to be more ruthless as they creep towards the finals. The question is, are they able to do this?
It's a great question, Jenny, thank you. Hello to you, Leonard Copeland, Pete Hawley, Cam Luke, and what is a ripping game to end the triple header. We speak of South East Melbourne Phoenix, as Jenny mentioned there, the win on Friday night against Adelaide, but now they're up against a legitimate championship contender as well. This is the game, as Simon Mitchell says, they have to be ruthless.
Well, this is going to be huge, isn't it? This is the test because the Phoenix, they've got some teams chasing them on the tail. We know Perth's going home, Sydney's run home, and they're going to have to come up and be really strong because the Hawks know that, again, as Jenny said, they can't be losing games. This is kind of a double-edged sword game in terms of points. I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out. Adnam,
best six-man, Mitch Creek MVP. They're both in the calculations for such awards, Leonard.
And they are quality players, too. The other night, both guys stood up. Creek was fantastic. Though he carried the team. And when you got him playing that well, they're always going to be in the line to win a championship.
DoorDash starting 5 stays, the same for South East Melbourne Phoenix. We know how deep they are. They're a team that we continue to see each week get rolling. They haven't won 4 in a row yet. They're trying to do it today, and Mitch Creek, that man is no doubt a most valuable player contender.
Absolutely, and he was enormous against Adelaide 36ers. Copes and I are still convinced that he had a word with Daniel Johnson pre-game saying, let's both have 30, because that's what happened. They went shot for shot in the first quarter. Both scored 14 apiece, and he loves going back to Adelaide, loves putting on a show there, and he was enormous, doing a bit of everything. And we kind of saw what everybody's been asking. When the game's there to be taken over and really put to bed, he needs to have the ball in his hands and be part of the offense. He's not going to take every shot, but needs to be a crucial figurehead down the stretch, and he was that, and that's why he is their franchise star.
29, 12 boards for Mitch Creek. Continually going to try and do it again today in a big game. Big game. There's 5 teams trying to cram into 4. As you have a look at the Amy ladder, you see where Illawarra are right now. Dropped to 5th after Sydney won only moments ago. And head coach Brian Gorgon, if you want to know how important this game is, have a listen to this.
Well, we put ourselves in a position, if we don't get a few of these, we're not going to make the playoffs. You know, you look at that 4, you look at Sydney, you look at Perth, you look at Melbourne, you look at Phoenix. It's, man, if where we are and where we sit now, if we don't win any of those games, we're not making the playoffs. So, and we got to do it on the road. So, yeah, we understand the challenge. We're getting better, and Phoenix knows what's at stake as well. So it makes for a great competition and a great season. There's no easy games, and where we are, our backs are against the wall the rest of the way. We can't afford to dump anything, and we've got to beat a few of these good teams to get there.
To summarise what Gorge is saying, they've already played all season series against the bottom 3 teams. Every game now is a double-edged points where it's crucial. If you want to make top 4, you've got to start beating these teams.
DoorDash starting 5. DoorDash March Madness, 20% off everything. Use code MADNESS. So we have a look at that starting 5. Harvey Jessup, Cleveland Froling, and Dwight Reith to be the first 5 for the Illawarra Hawks. And what is a big game, John Cain Arena. It's going to be rocking. South East Melbourne Phoenix want to flex their muscles against these other teams as well who are knocking on the door of a top 2 spot. I'm excited, Copes.
I'm excited as well. You know, last time Harvey and Jessup carried this team to a victory, they have to be big tonight. If they're not big, they don't have a chance.
Beautifully done. Indigenous jerseys look outstanding. It's been a great weekend. And Neville Jetta, former Melbourne AFL player here, talking excitement machines. He was most certainly one. And that's a nice photo as well as he delivers the game ball to the referees.
Oh, let him get a 3 up.
I know, let him shoot or something.
I'll tell you what, I might have gone early on my favourite Indigenous jerseys. These 2 look fantastic. The Illawarra Hawks one. How nice does that look?
Amazing.
There we go. And away we go. Tyler Harvey will have first touch.
You didn't ask who we have.
Who you got?
Well, I don't know, Cam. I might be on the fence.
Well, hang on a second.
I'm just...
If you're going to make me ask you a question, have an answer for me. Who wins? Leonard?
It's going to be a tight one.
Oh, come on, mate.
I can't call it. I can't call it because I know Gordon's team, and I know Gordon will have these guys fired up, ready to go.
You have never sat on the fence in your life.
I've never done it. You know why? Because
Phoenix will win, I think, at home, and they just got too much depth.
Creek. Nice move. Spins beautifully around top Reith, and that's the first basket of the night for Mitch Creek, coming off 29 points on Friday in Adelaide. This is going to be a fun matchup, these two. Jessup guarded by Liafa. Nice take, using the right hand, can't get it to go. Chi made it a little more difficult than he would have liked. And now the Phoenix to try and score in their opening couple of possessions. Liafa. Fades away. Great defense by Jessup. Did he get a hand to it? No, not. I think
Great
Liafa
defense.
believes that it might have been.
Great defense by both teams in the end. See again, Joe Chi, that's the presence. I like what they're going matchup-wise. Mitch Creek guarding Duop Reith, and that's because Duop Reith, we know, can shoot the three ball. He's got the step back as well. Sam Froling, they don't throw it to him that often to try and go and get a bucket. So this is a chance for Joe Chi to kind of save those fouls that he picks up with aggressive big men on the other team.
Got an early foul trouble, Chi again on Friday night. Cleveland, great move. Takes a little bump, uses the body perfectly to be able to open the account for the Illawarra Hawks.
And he's tough. You know, I'd love to see him go against Creek on the defensive end. That's a great matchup because he's an excellent defensive player and Creek's playing great basketball right now.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Down the other end, at some point, where they go small or try and figure out who to maybe put Sam Froling or Duop Reith on. I think Antonius Cleveland, in this matchup, he's going to be the perfect one-on-one guy to try and silence Mitch Creek.
Harvey, a little out of control, then regains it. Reith v. Creek, one-on-one. Mumford does the half show in the end. Reith, nice move, is able to just ease himself to the baseline and score a regulation 2 in the end. Creek right back at you. Bang! This is going to be fun. 5 points for Mitch Creek already.
He's still on fire.
He is.
The other night.
The Illawarra Hawks. So with Mitch Creek guarding Duop Reith, he can't be catching the ball there. Put him back on the block. Let him use his height to try and get to that spot he got to last. Easy 2 points.
Harvey couldn't do it. Froling Kent tips it in.
I just know how Gordon works. You're going to see a different side of Illawarra. They know if they don't play well, they're not going to make the top 4.
There's a little 2-3 zone from the Illawarra Hawks. You know, they've been searching for answers on the defensive end, and so often see with the zone, Mumford pulls up, and that's what happens. You bring that ball screen out, team's going to match up. They're going to go to man-to-man. Got to his spot, Mumford, and knocked that one down.
Jessup, 16-footer, Twine.
Cut, copy, paste. Good players who love the mid-range.
Both teams getting what they want early. 4 of 7 from the field for Illawarra, 4 of 5 for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Here's Chi, long way from where he does his best work. Mitch Creek. Liafa, straight up 3 is down. And the hot start for the Phoenix continues. 5 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the three-point line. And it's raining buckets early at John Cain Arena as Cleveland takes on. Brokoff can't finish it. Rebound by Froling. Harvey, great pass back to Froling. He started the possession with the offensive board, and he's able to kiss it off the window to end it.
We got a quality game here, fellas. So far, anyway.
I can't believe you wouldn't give us a prediction like
I
that.
can't do it. I know how Gordon works. I can't do it.
You forced me into a question and then didn't have an answer.
I wanted to hear it.
Gorge has spent the last half hour telling the Hawks that everyone thinks they're done. And they've come out nice. Mumford, great D by Reith. But nonchalantly, Justinian Jessup got a fingernail to it.
Hang on, I got it.
Couldn't collect it.
No, there was no possession there at all, was there?
So they're going to have a look at this in terms of shot clock. See if there was any possession there from Jessup, and I think that nonchalantness one saved him in the end. Mitch Creek lining it up. He is staying hot right now. And Isaiah Liafa, we've got to start giving a little bit of credit to Isaiah Liafa. He was in a hole in terms of shooting and kept trying to get his way out of it. Stayed the course. Simon Mitchell trusted him, and now he's starting to knock down some shots. We know what he does on the defensive end. That's why he's in that starting lineup. But needs to be knocking shots down as well. He's starting to do that.
Hey, hold! Magic!
Referee's checking. All under control now. One on a shot clock, no possession. As we heard the referee say, Creek's going to let it go.
Wow. He's feeling it.
The only person who can stop him right now was the spectator who tripped him as he tried to run back. On the sideline, he is on fire. 29 on Friday.
And that's why I will not be surprised if you put Cleveland on him early, because if he gets going, they're in trouble.
Froling. Cleveland, top of the key. Wants to take on Brokoff. Uses the body perfectly. Couldn't finish it. Froling tried desperately. No good though, as Chi says. Here you go, Liafa. Let's go the other way. And he pulls up for another triple. He can't get it to go. Got a wide open look there, Pete Hawley. He's been knocking them down.
Well, you live with that. He just knocked one down before. They're going to pick him up in transition. Here's Duop Reith back to the basket, down on the block. Rolls out again. But they're a couple of good looks. Cleveland using his body, getting downhill. Allen rolled out, and then Duop Reith down on the block. That's where he's going to have success. And I'm with you, Coach. Down this end. Here we go. Cleveland switches onto Mitch Creek. This is going to be their best one-on-one matchup they have to try and slow him down.
Creek to Liafa. G, Froling, battle. Froling wins this round.
Now, at this point, you'll be fine with that. I know Isaiah Liafa's knocked down a 3, but Mitch Creek is doing some dominant things.
14-10, entertaining start, high-octane offense from both Phoenix and Illawarra. Spin, Creek over Froling, trying to bank it. And now it's Jessup the other way.
Foul, grab.
Refs have been holding that this round. The hand checks, you've got 2 hands on. You're going to blow the whistle and really set the tone early. Substitutions ring in. Tart Mays into the game with Harry Froling, placing his brother. And Kyle Adden, the captain, who was quiet overall in that game against 36ers, but hit a big-time 3. The dagger with about a minute to go.
The confidence of the man. He was none of 4 prior to that moment. He was able to knock it down. Reith on the rebound. He's got a little bit of a mismatch over Liafa. Fades away. Arms locked left, right, and centre. I think they might have plucked it on Mitch Creek as he locked him up with Harry Froling on the rebounding battle. Mitch Creek's going to take
that 2 on Creek.
See.
Wow.
2 on Brokoff.
2 on Brokoff, 2 on Creek. Oh, Brokoff, sorry.
Creek has taken a seat. Jessup can't get it to go. Here is Brokoff. In and out. Harvey, great pass, cross court, no good. Brandon Ashley just into the action for Chi, gets his first board, and now it's Phoenix the other way.
Both teams getting good looks.
Smith-Milner, that's a wide open look on cue, couldn't knock it down.
It's dried up in the last few minutes. They've all been some really good looks.
Reith dribbles to his spot, finds bottom of the net.
He can't go under Duop Reith and not show him any respect. He's shown enough that he can knock that down. Brandon Ashley either getting confused with Liafa. Duop Reith says, I'll take this. 5 early points.
Big one, huge one. Earlier today it was Perth over Adelaide and the Kings over Cairns. Here's Gorge.
I'll get laid back with Tony. You don't have to rotate it. You've got to shoot around the corner. Hey, I got 2.
Okay, let's take a look at the crowd. What does everyone see?
We want to go reverse, all right? And we want to run it with the handoff, and then we want to come back with middle pick and roll, you in the middle of the floor, all right? When we go, we want to run some cutters, all right? We're not getting the ball to the second side of the floor. We're getting shots, but we're taking quick early ones. Second side of the floor. So reverse now, middle pick and roll, all right? Cutters, side to side shakes. All right? What do we got here? Okay, here we go. Hawks, 1, 2, 3.
Brian Gorgian, you spoke about that read 3. Hooley, talk us through it.
Well, here's Brandon Ashley, Azalea Arthur. So there's obviously some confusion now. Azalea Arthur's probably doing the right thing, staying connected to Justinian Jessup. Now, this is what happens when you play the Hawks. If you try and switch too much and you don't come together and on the right page, you lose shooters. You lose Tyler Harvey, you lose Jessup. And Brandon Ashley, either that's under the scout, okay, I'm going to get under and up, but do what Reece stops behind. You've got to make sure you have at least a hand and stay connected.
1 point lead, just under 3 minutes to go, first quarter. Here's Adnam. Scattered by White, using the Brandon Ashley screen, both ways. Shot clock down to 6, Adnam's got to get to work, trying to do so. Brockhoff has to let it fly, 25-footer, no good. Conrad just into the game, so that was his first board, and the Hawks with a chance to take the lead.
It's never nice when you are a shooter who has been struggling for the majority of the season, getting thrown the ball with 1.5 seconds left on the shot clock.
You have to shoot it.
You've got to let it fly.
Oh, nice move.
That's a tough move.
Really nice move. Illawarra have the lead as Rattan Mays hits all the way to the bucket. Adnam from the handoff from Ashley.
Simon Mitchell might have a point here. He's saying that should have counted. It depends on when the shot is from Kyle Adnam and the whistle. Nah, so it's not going to count. But again, you've got to be careful because if Kyle Adnam's gone to shoot it and the whistle comes, and you're just slapping it away to not let somebody get a practice shot up, that could be a chance to count. So, got lucky in the end.
Adnam can't get it to finish. Ashley can. Cleans up the offensive glass, gets his first bucket of the night.
It just seems like Illawarra are playing a different style of basketball. Their defense, they're making a point of their defense this game, and so they should.
Froley got rid of Ashley, thought about the 3, decided against it. Now Rattan Mays a long way from the bucket. 5 on the shot clock, got to get to work on Smith Milner, crosses him over. 17-footer, no good. Ashley with the rebound. Disjointed possession there from the Hawks. Glidden, first minutes for him. Adnam 5 on the shot clock. Brockhoff, great move. Was able just to pirouette the other way after he got the defender going. All the momentum, that's a nice bucket. From the former Boomer, he's got his first points of the night. The lead is 3. Isaac White, right at Smith Milner, got him in the air. That'll count.
He's been a spark. Brian Gorgian. Smith Milner just jumping for joy. You've got to stay down. Smaller Isaac White on you, did well to move your feet, get in front. You just bail him out by leaving your feet, and here we go. So this first quarter now, Phoenix have played all 10 players besides Dane Pinot. 10 guys are going to see some court time. We talk about how deep they are. Got a lot of talent.
The issue with that is, though,
it's a concern
as well.
Yeah,
I know you do, Copes. So either of you can go first.
Copes.
I just think it's hard to get in the rhythm when you're playing that many guys early. I mean, let me get going. Let me knock down a couple or miss a couple or whatever before you sub me minutes. You know, let me feel the game first. Yes, everyone wants to play, but to try to play 10 guys in a 40-minute game is really difficult.
I've said that a little bit throughout the course of the season and we've seen it again. I think it's time to find out who's playing well today, and that's how we've closed the game. That's been a question for the Phoenix. Who's going to be their closing group? You don't have the chance to really get into that rhythm, not just in a game, but across multiple games. Build the momentum up, be in some sort of hot streak. And the one guy that's really not going to impact is Mitch Creek. He's going to be out there no matter what. But when it comes to crunch time, when it gets to the finals...
Ready, guys?
It can be a very good problem to have, having too much talent. You have a lot of questions on how you try and keep everybody happy and find the best form for everybody.
Rattan Mays Shot clock's a 9-second differential. Ashley says no right up against the backboard. And the shot clock is off for the Phoenix, who hold a 1-point lead. Into the last 7 seconds of the first quarter. Adnam wants to get to work. Little Euro step, nice little dance into the key. Couldn't finish it. And that will be on Ashley. And that will send 2 the other way, which...
And this is another concern with the Phoenix is big fella's getting in foul trouble. Joe Chi, picking up fouls. He hasn't got any yet. Brandon Ashley, just a bit unlucky there, but in the end, there's just no need to jump forward to go for that. You can't get that rebound from being underneath the backboard. I think he was happy, the Phoenix were happy against Adelaide, where Joe Chi picked up 2 early fouls, and Brandon Ashley did well not to get early fouls. What we did notice is he was holding back a lot on rebounds, not trying to do things like that for that exact instance, and that's not when he's at his best.
Right, but obviously they've had a word with him because of Joe Chi getting into foul trouble. He can't afford to come in and pick up 2 or 3 straight away, because then you're on your third big man, and you talk about playing 10 guys. That makes it tough as well.
Hungry Jack Burgers up for grabs early in this one. And the heartbreak is evident across the state of Victoria. But we got a good one. That'll cheer you up. 18 apiece after 10. It was a high-octane start. A couple of the big guns went cold, but we've got a very fun game. Second quarter on the other side of this. It was a hot start. Dwight Reef doing what he does. Mitch Creek, 29 on Sunday, continues his hot form, but both teams cooled off late in that quarter, but we got a fun one. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix want to stay in top 2. Illawarra want to create a little bit of space in that log jam for the top 4. And all thanks to Kmart, that's Rodney Siegel and the crew. His son Archer, family friend Mitch, they're monstrous. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix fans, they're Phoenix members. They go to all the home games together. And it's been a great way to bond across the families. And Archer really looks up to his big friend, Mitch. So congratulations, $50 Kmart gift card is all yours, Rodney. Copes, first 10 minutes, what'd you make of it?
We spoke a lot about defense in Illawarra, and they did a great job of not getting into foul trouble. They only had 1 foul in that quarter. If you can play that away without fouling, much better. They look much better as a team. And it sounds like Gorgeon's had that. Ooh, that could have been a foul there. It sounds like Gorgeon had that conversation with him. Guys, listen, We're on the road. It's us against the world. We got to come out and play some defense.
There's a foul just called on Kyle Adnam, and he didn't like it. He got all ball with his left hand, but I think his right arm was just holding the hip of Froling. Wasn't a whole lot in it, but just right in front of the referee.
Harvey, tough. Never looked like it.
We spoke about this the other night, Coach. I still think Tyler Harvey, you've got to make him the focal point of the offense, to let him run plays, to get him in ball screens, get him where he wants to be successful. Yes, he's a great one-on-one scorer, but I just have to tell him, look, you've played 8 minutes, you're 0 of 3, so you're 0 of 2 before that. Just go find yourself a shot. Put him in the spot, whether it's off a handoff, a high ball screen.
A layup. Get him going early.
I still think he is. Has to be one of their main offensive weapons.
"30 seconds in, second quarter. Glidden, Adnam, Tarangi, Ashley and Creek for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Harvey, Rattan, Mays, Jessup, Froling and Reith for the Hawks as Glidden gets a good look after using an up fake. Can't get it to go. Tarangi. Too big for Harvey.
Great offensive rebound.
Still trying to figure out how Mitch Creek split that. Looks like he picked the ball up.
Someone tapped it. But you're right with Illawarra. Sometimes you need 2 or 3 guys to focus, to be that main focus on the offensive end. When everyone can shoot the ball, sometimes that can hurt you.
Adnam arguing.
And we had another little chat about exactly how that could work. And I think, again, when you bring Rattan Mays off the bench, who loves to have the ball in his hands, and he's really crafty, he's got a great handle. If that comes in the first quarter when Tyler Harvey sits down, good pass there, a little high-low. That's when he can start using Rattan Mays to try and set up some shots for Justinian Jessup with the drive and dish. And Tyler Harvey, I think just from the opening tip, has to be aggressive in getting those on ball screens to work.
Glidden, same spot. Same result, unfortunately. That's off the iron. That's going to be a push on Tarangi in the rebounding duel. And we'll go the other way.
Can you see why I was on the fence now? You see how close this game is, Cam?
Yeah, it's a close game. But I've never seen you lack confidence.
No confidence.
Or the ability to say in 20 years in the NBL of what you thought. And I thought you would continue it off here.
Yeah, I'm not lacking confidence.
Offensive foul, Rattan Mays there. Good pressure defense from Ruben Tarangi.
Jenny's green is courtside. Jen, what do you got for us?
Guys, just taking back to round 10 when the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix were missing, obviously, their coach, Adnam, Glidden, Tarangi and Panu in that game, but also someone that's been missing of late is Xavier Mumford, who's just checked back into the game. In his past 2 games, he's only combined for 13 points at 31% and way too many turnovers. So, along with Mitch Creek, let's hope Xavier Mumford can come to the party tonight.
Well, that's a little bit what we're talking about when you're playing 10 players in the first quarter and you've got your captain coming off the bench who we know he can fill it up, and I think he's leading the charge for 6th man of the year right now. And other players, Cam Glidden's getting minutes now, playing everyone. So if you're Xavier Mumford, you're thinking, look, my leash is so short right now, I can't get into a confident rhythm.
Here he is on cue. Great pass by Ashley. Turned in a couple of good shots here, and all of a sudden the shot clock's into single figures. Creek kicks it out to Ashley, 17-footer. No good. Rokoff keeps it alive. Mumford lets it fly. Will that give him some rhythm? I hope will not.
Wow.
But again, Brokoff just wanted it more. We spoke to him on Friday night after their win, Coach, and you spoke to him about his consistent desire to hit the glass in the last couple of weeks, and it was evident there.
And it works for him. He's found something else to get him going. A lot of the time early in the season, the shot was off. He had to find a way to keep himself on the floor, and that's the way to do it. You go into that glass. As a coach, I'm going to leave you on the floor.
14 on the shot clock. 20 apiece. A lot of firepower on both these sides as we talk about, but they have considerably dried up after a hot start. 9 of 24 for the Hawks, 9 of 25 for the Phoenix, who are 2 of 10 from the three-point line, while the Hawks are 1 of 3 from the land of plenty. As Joe Chi steps back into the game. Here's Mumford. Trying to warm up. That'll help.
There you go.
He's got 4. Jessup. Reith v Creek. He started this way in the matchup. It's been fun to watch so far. Cleveland. Nice move. Got to his spot, knew where he wanted to go, was able to hit it, Pete Hawley.
He's so tough. He gets to that glass whenever he wants.
Creek, what a pass. What a heads-up play by the superstar. Joe Chi just ducked straight towards the ring and Mitch Creek dropped it off for him.
Spending a lot of time together off the floor and it's starting to show the connection on the floor. Joe Chi, really good awareness to get underneath the hoop there.
Rockoff all the way. That's going to count. In the end, it was way too easy. No one picked up the ball handler. It parted like the Red Sea, and now a potential three-point chance.
Hawks went from 2 outstanding defensive possessions, but they didn't close it out, to that easy one. And right here, someone's got to be picking Brokoff up from when he gets to the Kmart logo down the other end. Whoever's closest, you don't have a man in defensive transition. Somebody's going to run and meet him. And in the end, no one came to him, and someone came late. And
you better believe Gorgian will make that point at halftime.
Three-point play completed. Last 5 points for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Brokoff, he has 5, and the lead is 5 as he's able to get a hand steal and throw it off Jessup's foot. And these last minutes or two have been huge for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
All about Brokoff, the last minute. Offensive rebound, drive to the basket, steal. He's just hustling. He's just out hustling the whole team.
We spoke a lot about it on Friday night, Coach, when the three of us did the Adelaide game, and you kept talking about it. If your shot's not falling, to be a star in this league like he is, you need to do other things. And he has done. And that's a perfect example there.
But doing other positive things will get that shot going because you feel good. You feel like you're a part of the team, like you're helping the team out. And again, to drive down the middle of the lane and make a layup and one. Offensive rebound, steal.
Creek. Here's Mumford, 4 points. Heard from Jenny's screen moments ago, only 13 points at 31% in the last couple of games. That's combined. And that led us to a timeout. 6:37 to go, second quarter. Third of our NBL triple header. It's a 5-point lead for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, who look incredible in the Indigenous jerseys, as do the Illawarra Hawks, as do the entire 10 clubs in the NBL these Indigenous rounds. And Katie Budgeon is the artist. NBL.com.au to check out all the great stories. There is Katie, looking incredible and her great work. Now the name on the front, Guyani, it's a name that was chosen for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix jersey, the Indigenous jersey, which means we all. And we all is in reference to the club's core value of meaningful community connection, which I lent, or she lent, not I. Katie, she wrote this. She lent on heavily for this design. It means we are all in this together, and Katie should be congratulated, as should everyone who helped design these incredible jerseys as this Indigenous week goes until next week and continues to grow the word and teaches people all around the country more and more about the Indigenous community.
Well, it looks fantastic, the Phoenix one. And who's going to be the first team to just take a little snippet of whatever it is for this year and start it in a little patch or some part of the actual jersey next year and just have it part of the uniform, whether it's a little piece, maybe it's the side panel or the shorts or something. And then when you get to Indigenous round again the following year, you switch it up.
I like it, Uli.
I think it's just we love it every year, especially in the stories behind it. But just to have it, you know, again, I love how special we can have.
And I think a club should be able just to wear the Indigenous jersey whenever they feel like it.
Absolutely.
Great idea, Pete Hawley.
Did you just come up with that?
Nice move.
No, a lot of people have been asking about that, I think, for a couple of years, and I'm with them. I think it's just a great opportunity to add something to.
Last 7 points. All for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Brian Gorgian won't be happy with that defensive effort out of a timeout. Froling, no good. That's Sam this time. Mumford on the rebound, and they want to push. And Creek was tippy-toeing the sideline.
And look at Joe Chi. He's getting out, hard showing, trying to get the ball out of Tyler Harvey's hands. They're just telling him right now, we don't want him sitting in the drops, which is exactly how he played the whole first half of the season. Be a little bit more aggressive. It's good to see because what happens, you take him that far away from the basket, someone's going to be there to help. That was outstanding half-court defense to help the big fella.
Obviously the defense for Melbourne is to shut Harvey down, and they're doing a good job because, as you say, Chief's stepping up now. Harvey can't come off that screen and knock that three down. He's struggling early.
Mumford couldn't get the floater to go. Now they're going to push.
And that's what he does well.
Couldn't finish it the first time as Cleveland. Went back and got it. Couldn't do that, and now we're going to go the other way. Creek 1 on 3. Stops, pops, 2 feet. Right hand, no good.
Well, that's normally money for him. You can see a couple of Illawarra Hawks players just pointing to each other saying, okay, eventually someone pick it up. Still got to get in front of him. Yeah. Just let him roll into the block. Tyler Harvey, it's tough when he's trying to get going. No, he can't hit that. But again, Simon Mitchell's going to live with that until he's knocked down a couple.
Very cold Illawarra right now. Great pass, Mumford to Sheen in the end. Sam Froling had really no option. Rather than belt him across the forearm and send the big fella to the foul line for a couple.
The exact opposite of what we spoke about, how somebody helped Joe Chi down the other end. So that's Tim Conrad. There's nobody there to put a body on Joe Chi. Sam Froling's doing his part on the ball screen. He's trying to get the ball out of the guard's hands. So Froling, tick, who's got his back? Who's going to bump Joe Chi on the roll? Who's going to put their body on the line, try and take a charge? We saw it down the other end. Joe Chi came out. I think it was Liafa, picked up that roller and helped out the big fella.
Joe Chi makes the first. Jenny screen courtside.
Just seen Harry Froling injected back into the game. This will be a nice little interest for everyone to watch at home in terms of what he can create against South East Melbourne in terms of adjustments defensively. We know he's 19 of 25 from three-point line at the moment this season. So he'll be interesting to see what Joe Chi does against him. And then also,
Former Opal and legend, Jenny Screen courtside. Great pass.
Great pass.
And Cam, I've got to get it out and stand corrected. As Liam Centeria has corrected me, which we hope he's doing all right. But both the Wildcats and the Breakers do actually have an Indigenous part of their regular jersey. Right. So they were the first ones. So the other teams, 8 other teams have some catching up to do.
So we're not going to give you credit for that, are we?
No way.
Mumford couldn't finish it. Froling, great defense. What hand does it come off? Referees look at each other and say it comes off the mitt of a Hawk. And it'll go baseline. But you just asked the question, Pete, who would be the first team? Now, there already has been a first team. Has Liam given you the answer from his couch? He's just giving you 2. We want a solo. Ryan Gorge not happy at all. And this will be a coach's challenge. And this must be at the urgings of a player, because Brian Gorgian, of course, is a fair way away from where this particular play. Let's have a look.
Hello.
That's us. We are not doing the replay centre. We guaranteed to everyone around the country.
It looked like we were locked in.
Tell you what, if you were in control of the replay centre, Pete Hooley, there would be a lot of bad decisions made because your strike rate is low.
I actually think it's one of my better units at strike rate.
Yeah, I know.
I thought you were pretty good as well.
Thanks, Coach.
47%. You were 31 last year, you're up to 47, so you've improved, but still low.
Well, if you have to pick one, you're probably taking the guy who takes 47. Here's what the replay centre's looking at here. It's just an out-of-bounds call. So Gorge just on an out-of-bounds call. I know they're down 6, but with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. So if this is... So I think what he's saying right now, Gorge, I think is Harry Foley's trying to tap it back towards, and Joe Chi's going the other way, and I'm going to give Gorge credit. That's what he's seen. Because I think coaches have now gone away from the players demanding from the other end of the court.
Because they demand on everything.
Like, Coach, I've done nothing wrong.
Coach's challenge is successful. The call's been overturned. So you just have to go in there and wait for that.
There you go, Brian Gorgian, the GOAT from the other end of the court. And that's what the coach's challenge has been introduced for. Outstanding.
Gorgian getting along with the referees.
Yeah, he's a changed man.
Nice man.
He's a changed man. He came out. It's got a couple of weeks ago. He's going to cool the Jets a little bit.
That's what 200 straight year, a semi-final action and an Olympic medal will do to a masterful coach such as Brian Goorjian. And he got that one right. Oh, close to over and back there for a split second.
He's so crafty. He's so crafty with that ball.
Ratan Mays, he's got 4 on the night, and that lead is back to 4. Liafa. Here's Liafa, shot clock down to 7, sizes it up. Has to go one-on-one over Ratan Mays, no good.
Well, no Jessup, no Harvey on the floor right now. Ratan Mays, Cleveland, White, Froling, and Tim Conrad. We've got 26 points. There's a move.
Wow. Great move.
So this is the kind of time we had 26 points until that bucket. Ratan Mays can be more aggressive. He's going to have to try and make plays himself.
Last 4 for Ratan Mays. He has 6.
Last 3 shots.
No good.
Last 3 shots, I thought Phoenix rushed all 3 of those. You can get a better look by moving that ball around a little bit. You're giving the Hawks an opportunity now to come down. They've made their last 2, and you're on the back foot.
There's Chi in that hard show again, Pete Hawley. You spoke about it. This one caused the turnover.
Well, it's just different. In the first 14 games of the season, they tried it a couple of times, but really the success came in keeping Joe Chi in that little drops area where we've highlighted so much, just taking a few steps back on the ball screen. But I like it because it's going to change the intent. And again, he's only going to be comfortable doing that if he knows that everyone's got his help behind. Look, he's going to, you want to get the ball out of the point guard's hands, make him have to make a quick decision. That's what that hard show's there for. Brandon Ashley does that already, so I think that's kind of where Simon Mitchell, once they brought Brandon Ashley in, is okay, we want to try and keep one state. What's our identity on the defensive end? They want to be aggressive, and I think that's why.
Ashley on the fade, no good. Eric Froling picked up the dribble momentarily, was able to get away with it. And now a chance to tie it up or even take the lead for Illawarra. Froling. Got Ashley near, great pass. Outstanding pass. Isaac White moves so well without the ball. And again, gets his second backdoor cut of the quarter. And we're all tied up at 30. The last 8 points for the Illawarra Hawks.
Well, he's got a few words to say, Isaac White, after each little bucket.
Man, I love it. I love it. He doesn't lack confidence, does he?
Mumford kept the dribble alive in the end. Floater no good, and now here is this man. Isaac White, one-on-one. With Brockhoff kicks it out. Conrad thought about it. Ratan Mays. White in front of the bench. In, out. Ashley's hand.
Well, Coach, see, he doesn't lack confidence. That's a good pass from Ratan Mays. I'm going to throw something out here. If you like it, take it, and if not, throw it on back. Okay. But if you were going to wear a mullet or a hairstyle like that, I don't think you'd lack any confidence.
Oh, you're a funny guy.
Tarangi.
I wouldn't know anything about a mullet. I can tell you that much, man. Oh, that's funny.
You did bring it to the attention on NBL Overtime Tuesday of the mullet shake.
It's the mullet flick, it is.
Mullet flick, is it? Sorry.
I would have seen it if he knocked that down in the corner. But again, Tyler Harvey's struggling. Isaac White's got 7 points off the bench, and he wasn't playing a whole lot to start the season. And I think Brian Goorjian was looking, where am I going to get some points from, some energy from? He's going to be that guy.
Not dissimilar to last year.
Exactly right.
Was in the rotation, very deep in the rotation at the start of the year, worked his way into it, went past Emmett Nah, who was called upon before him prior to White finding that groove, and you feel the same here, and he's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch offensively, but he still plays hard on the defensive end as well, and that's why he's getting an opportunity to play.
Well, he has to, because he's got words for everybody he scores on, and they know down the other end. We're coming at you.
That's right.
Ruben Tarangi, 1 of 2. Lead is that. Everybody. 80 seconds to go, first half. 2 top teams in NBL22 slugging it out on a Sunday evening. Jessup just re-enters the game. Ratan Mays had a really good quarter. This time finds Froling. Great job, Mumford. Brockhoff just leaves it for Ashley, who was an ambitious pass. When you leave it at the ankles of a big man, but he gets it back. And he's able to get 2 a little harder. He's got 7, the lead is 3.
Tunmay's block, that's a man who knew exactly how long was left on the shot clock, because Harry Froling had a pass option either side, but had to get the shot up. But he contested it perfectly.
Here is Froling. Ratan Mays, top of the key, guarded by Glennon. Again, the shot clock into single figures. You hear Gorge barking instructions in the background. Froling, this time no block. It's long anyway, and they all stood around. And Jessup gives them last opportunity of the half. Oh, great move. Ratan Mays all the way to the bucket. And 1. Specifically, I don't think that was Brian Gorgeon's instruction, but that will make him a little happier, coach.
Spread that offense, spread the floor, pass, pick and roll, and get to the basket.
You hear him yelling. First it was Harry Froling, and then it was Stuart Reid. But here's the block. Munford knowing, okay, there was just under a second left on the shot clock. But right here, Brian Gorgeon was screaming for Stuart Reid to go and set that screen. And if you're a Phoenix player, everyone's thinking, where is Stuart Reid?
And you're looking around.
And you're looking with head on a swivel, and Ratan Mays goes straight past him.
Smart play, smart play.
Can coach a little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit of sweat getting around. The floor wipers do wonderful work right across the nation, NBL22.
One here.
Tell you what, Leonard Copeland, I'm going to give you an ultimatum here. If that's not an ultimatum, it's just a chance at half-time to tell us who's going to win this game.
Let me tell you something. Listen to me. I said it, and I'm going to say it again. This is going to be a very close game. 2 teams, you can't pick it. Oh,
that's going to be an offensive foul.
Oh, that's a corky as well.
Yeah, that'll hurt. I think it's stinging now to be sore tomorrow.
Well, hopefully it's that and nothing more to his knee. They're never nice.
When you're playing like he's playing, you're scoring points.
It's either a corky or a knee to knee.
Get out of the low.
Here we go.
Brandon Ashley just leaning into it just a little bit with the hip and knee, and
it's a big one.
So that's a terror screen. We called him. Nate Jarway was the king. It still is. I've said those terror screens in transition. Just moving a little bit. So if you're doing breathe, you have to be screaming.
100%.
To Ratan Mays. Like screen coming right, because it's that high. You've got to get underneath that, but only someone behind you. Whoever's setting the screen, and that's why so often you hear coaches telling the big man, you got to call it early.
Especially if you want your guard picking up 94 feet. If you're not yelling behind him saying screen, personally, I'm coming after my big man.
This looks like it's going to... It looks a little bit like a corky that try and keep warm over halftime and wake it up tomorrow morning.
Last play, Tyler Harvey reintroduced by Gorgeon. Reith tried to find Cleveland and couldn't. And that ends a scrappy but very close. Thank you, Leonard Copeland, for telling us that this game between 2 of the top teams in the league will be close.
I listened to it.
After 20 minutes, 33 apiece. It may not be all that aesthetically pleasing at times, but this is an outstanding contest. Jenny Screen, who you got, Jen?
Guys, I'm courtside with Ryan Brokoff. Rowdy, you guys did a great job. They're making you earn every point, but you held them to 15 in that second quarter. You've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, the defense hasn't been too bad. A few missed scouts, guys getting to their strong hand. A few breakdowns that we can clean up. Other than that, kept them off the boards. Done a pretty good job.
Breakdowns, the person that's breaking you apart is Mays at the moment. How are you going to stop him in the second half?
Just keep being aggressive against him, try and get the ball out of his hands, and he's really effective and explosive on his right hand, so try and limit that.
Keep up with the hustle plays. Good luck in the second half.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 teams, Southeast Melbourne wanting a top 2 finish to round out their season, whereas the Hawks are fighting for survival in the top 4 of the Hungry Jacks NBL. Don't go anywhere. We're in for a great second half after the break.
Hungry Jacks halftime highlights. We're all tied up after 20 minutes. Mitch Creek doing Mitch Creek things early. Had 7 points in the first quarter. But it's really Leonard Copeland. And while we see some of these highlights, we're seeing superstars on both sides do their thing. It has become a real slugfest between two of the league's heavyweights.
Absolutely. Both teams are fighting to stay in the top four. And I said before, it was going to be a tough game. I mean, Gorgon has a newfound relief by having his boys to play defense here now. And Phoenix have played well on the weekend, come out early and played well, but both teams are really going at it.
It's an interesting one. We're going to get to Pete Hawley in a moment as we have a look at the stats. There's that 7 points from Mitch Creek, all in the first 3 minutes. Ryan Broekhoff, as we know, playing really well. In other ways, not necessarily shooting the ball as well as he has. Rattan May's really got the scoreboard ticking over when they're in some trouble. You have a look at those numbers. Copes, is there anything outside of low shooting percentages that stands out?
You know what stands out to me? Illawarra's done Phoenix have done a great job of shutting down the two main scorers, for the team. Jessup 1 for 6. Harvey 0 for 4, 1 for 10. For both of those guys, they've done a fantastic job of shutting those guys down.
All right, our man Pete Hawley, as he always likes to do, heads over to the big screen to break it all down. Halls, what do you got for us?
Well, I've got good Illawarra, bad Illawarra. We're talking about the defensive end. Now, this is their defensive transition where they were excellent. Sam Froling, he's behind the play. But look at the bodies here. They're showing all the gaps with Mumford with the ball. You can see Tyler Harvey in the corner. He's pointing, directing everybody. So as this play goes, they don't let the transition bucket happen. Now watch this half-court set. Justinian Jessup fighting over the screen. Tyler Harvey on the help side. So when Brandon Ashley tries to slide here, Tyler Harvey's going to come across and meet him, perfectly blow that up. Now you got Rattan Mays over here who's got to get to the shooter in the corner, and then everybody else has to rotate to put out the fire. So good pass, Tyler Harvey's across there, Ryan Broekhoff's there, and now Isaiah Liafa is going to step in, shoot that ball. Justinian Jessup knows he's the next rotation. He sprints across to close out to that, and then everybody else tries to rotate on. This is exactly what Brian Gorgon wants to see from them on the defensive end. Everybody's moving, everybody's helping. You're going to live with Brandon Ashley shooting that shot, then they've just got to secure the rebound. Now here's poor Illawarra we talk about on the defensive transition. So this is what happens when Brian Broekhoff get that off the miss. So right now, we'll get a little bit further. Ryan Broekhoff has the ball. You count the Phoenix players, there's 1 here, 2 here, 3, 4, and 5. Everybody is right here. So if you're Duop Reith and Tyler Harvey, how do you put out the fire in transition? Duop Reith looking back to the basket, Tyler Harvey's here. Somebody has to stop the ball, which is Ryan Broekhoff. These two just run back. So right now, the best possible case, Tyler Harvey's got to turn, stop right here, so that Duop Reith can get across to Xavier Mumford. So that doesn't happen. Okay, how do we put this fire out? It is a lot to ask of Antonius Cleveland to try and get back in front of Ryan Broekhoff. But even here, they'd still have a chance if Tyler Harvey again comes across and puts his body on the line. Jessup can try and sort this problem out until everybody gets back, and then Duop Reith can get across to Mumford. No one does it. Ryan Broekhoff, easy and one. That's the two different sides of the story. That's what Brian Gorgon's trying to figure out. When they're good, they're really good, and everybody's moving and helping. But when they're poor, they're pretty poor.
Thank you, Halls. Pete Hawley. It's a bit of frustration, I suppose, when you're Brian Gorgon, you're trying to find defensive consistency, and unfortunately, as Halls just pointed out, there's been a couple of those situations where they haven't been able to find it. All right, we love Indigenous round. We love the Indigenous jerseys. We learning about it. If you want to learn more, nbl.com.au. But right now, check this out on the South East Melbourne Phoenix Indigenous jersey.
When I was talking to the Phoenix group, they were just explaining to me how involved they are with the community and how they'd love to reach out and be really involved with everyone and really give back to the area. So when I saw that, I kind of thought of the Guyani. We all really brought it together to me for what the design should be, and that I focused on the community connection. Okay boys, thanks so much for coming. So here we have Kyle and Dane from South East Melbourne Phoenix. They've come in today. What I was going to do today was explain to them the painting that I made for the Indigenous round. So this Sunday down at the John Cain Arena, they're going to be wearing this uniform here, which is my painting on the singlet and the shorts as well. In the middle we have our big meeting place here. This is the South East Phoenix Club. You can see the people around the edges here, and we can also see their connections moving out towards smaller community groups, and that is the community of Melbourne here, of the basketball community as a whole. You can also see I have some little green kangaroo footprints, and that just shows the connections that are going out, but they're also coming back in. So there's that ebb and that flow of sharing with community and sharing with the club and supporting the club as well.
It's always great to see another fellow Melbourne Tigers junior basketball player. Kate and I played at the same club growing up, which is great, and awesome to see the person behind the amazing artwork on our jersey. I think our jersey is by far and away the best in the league.
Who's your favourite NBA player?
My favourite NBA player is LeBron. I've always loved him. The best player of all time, of course. I learned that it was all about community, and I didn't know that, and it was really great to learn that. It shows the impacts that we can have on the community around us, and how that also comes back to us too.
Oh, it's such an honour. I'm so excited. The colour looks so good, and with the design, I'm just really, really excited to go there. I'll be wearing my own jersey, watching the boys run out. It's honestly so surreal.
"20 minutes in the books, 20 minutes to go, and we're all tied up. Two of the league heavyweights in NBL22, slogging it out. We start the third quarter. Harvey, Reith, Jessup, Froling, Cleveland, same starting five for both units. As away we go. Shot clock's down to 9. Here's Harvey. None of 4 in the first half. Hasn't got going yet. Reith had it poked away. It'll stay side out for the Hawks. 5 on the shot clock.
Thank you.
some kind of way, Jessup and Harvey have to find a way to get going. If they can knock down a couple of shots or make a couple of layups to get themselves going here, then I'll slowly get off that fence.
Well, they're 1 of 10 combined.
Just on that though, Copes.
Yep.
It's also a positive that they are tied up and your 2 sharpshooters, your 2 starting guards, 1 of 10 combined and having an off night so far.
Absolutely. So you're finding other ways of scoring, which is great. And you're playing great defense because both teams are tied up. I mean, you've done a good job on Creaky. He's only scored 7 points. So, again, if you can find a way to get those guys going early, like Creek's going to get going early, then it helps you.
He's into double figures. He had 7 in the first 3 minutes. He starts his third quarter like he started the first.
Shooting that 3 ball with so much confidence. You see him even took a couple steps back so he could step straight in and let it fly.
Harvey, can he break the duck? Not here. Cheese says, I'll snaffle another Tyler Harvey miss.
But I love that because they got it side to side. You saw Tyler Harvey sprinting out the corner, albeit it didn't look like a full sprint. I'm sure there might be a little underdone. And then got downhill. He couldn't have that hard show because of the offense before. That was a really good set.
It was a great pass and the big fella. Mumford was able to find him, and in the end, Justinian Jessup probably did the only thing he could with the wingspan of Joe Chi.
Not many going up there to get that.
He's there.
At full stretch.
Jessup reached up and hit him in the belly button. The big fella hits to the foul line for 2. He nails the first. Likewise, the second. First 5 points in the third quarter. Pull on to Phoenix, and that is the lead. Froling. Guarded top of the key by Chi. Here is Jessup trying to get into the game a little bit himself. And that's an offensive foul. Use the off right arm to get rid of the defender. Simon Mitchell right on the spot, making sure the referee didn't miss it. Copes, yes or no?
Yes, 100%.
Perfect call. Liafa.
Pete, you gave me the look as if that was the wrong call.
That's what Jose Liafa does. Going to get under your skin, make you have to do something to try and get off you.
But then, why wouldn't you try to post him up?
Talking post-ups, here's Chi inside on Froling. In the end, Froling did as well as he possibly could. Made him shoot a 10-foot jump hook that was able to use the friendly John Cain Arena rims. And the first 7 belong to the Phoenix.
Great move. Lost the ball. Still have the presence of mind to get that ball up.
The lead is 7. Early moments, third quarter. Jessup tried to thread the needle, come off a size 23 Nike. Joe Chi. Go to the baseline. Tyler Harvey to inbound. Gets it back. Reith. Chi says no. And the drought continues for the Hawks. Creek. Good look. Similar spots where he nailed one only moments ago. Couldn't do it here. Here's Jessup. Matt Haas. Liafa's going to outrun Diop. Reith. Get all the way to the bucket. Reith got back. Going to make him earn it. But a turnover for the Hawks, and Brian Goorjian will not be happy, Copes, out of the half-time. They've been outscored 7-0, and they look disjointed on offense.
They do. And the one thing to get them going is for them to start pushing that ball. But you got to get stops in order for that to happen.
This is why you talk about being who's the real contenders to win a title. If your offense isn't flowing, can you bank on getting enough stops to win enough games? I think Sydney Kings can, I think Melbourne United can. Wildcats, when they get back home, will start to figure that out. I think they'll be okay. Hawks right now.
Turn it straight back over. Brockhoff couldn't knock it down.
And that's what he does well.
Antonius Cleveland breaks that scoring drought. They got away with one at the other end. It's a 5-point swing and they needed it. G. No double team. Liafa's wide open. Oh, great pass. G finds him, top of the key, knocks it down, and the lead is double figures.
Well, you mentioned it, no double team, so why is everybody just staring? If you're going to be looking straight at Joe Chi without keeping your head on a swivel or seeing ball and the basket, then you've got to be going a double team. Turn your back and leave Isaiah Liafa wide open.
Jessup, can that get him going? He's got 4 and 2 of 7 from the field. Mumford, right in front of the Hawks bench. That's long. Harvey will want to push. That was going up from the moment he crossed half court. It was just what type of shot it was going to be, and unfortunately for Tyler Harvey, it was a contested one, and it was off the rim. As Creek goes the other end, there's a little bit short.
You thought that went in?
I thought that went in. I did.
Tell you what, Mitch Creek sprinted after it.
Cleveland couldn't make the first one. It'll be on Liafa. Jenny Screen is courtside. Jen, take it away.
Guys, someone that was creating offense for the Hawks in the first half was Xavier Ratton-Mays with 9 points. He's just been injected back into the game. He did come out last out of the halftime huddle. Looked a bit proppy, so it'll be interesting to see if he can have the impact that he did in the first half, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jen. It was a knee from Brandon Ashley. See how it plays out for Rattan-Mays. Reed got to where he wanted to. Mitch Creek forced him into a fadeaway and then takes the rebound away. Liafa, top of the key. Here we go. Mumford. Shot clock's down to 5. Liafa has to get busy. He's very well aware of it. Fades away from 17 feet, and there's nothing you can do. You played 19 seconds of good defense, Hooley, and a better offensive shot just beat you.
No, exactly right. He just knocked down 3, so he is feeling good. Good answer, Justinian Jessup. Yeah, we spoke about just a little half a second slow, or you're trying to turn your head the wrong way. They're going to make you pay. Liafa with the 3 about a minute and a half ago, and then right there, he turned his head, and he's trying to sort of a heat check. And pointing to the bench saying that he's exhausted. That's a good way to take a poor shot. Oh, coach, I need one. 100%. I'll tell you what, he's probably going to come out anyway.
Rolling. Always jump before you push, Pete. When it comes to subs, Reith, nice move. That's back to 5. First the Jessup triple, then the Reith little floater. It's back to 5. It's cut that double-digit lead in half. Mumford had nowhere to go. Froling did a good job. And a turnover for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Only their 4th of the night.
Oh, good hands from Tyler Harvey. He was the first one to get a little hand in there.
Takes a break. Isaac White into the game. Here's Froling. Jessup, is he feeling it? Not this time.
Good hands there from Rattan-Mays. Ryan Gordon saying nice job. Had to get that because you cannot leave the strong side corner. Everyone's told that on the defensive end. If you've got a shooter there especially, you cannot leave that open. So right there, Rattan-Mays was in help. But as soon as Brendan Ashley starts coming in, they've got to fully commit a bit earlier or get back to the shooter. Got in the lane.
I believe he caught that. It was going up.
Kyle Adnam? Oh, yeah. Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Here is the captain of the Phoenix, Kyle Adnam. Huge game last week in the win with 24 points against the Wildcats. But Brockhoff just girls off a little screen, finds herself wide open. He's in the double figures.
Take out Mitch Creek, and I think Ryan Brockhoff is the most important player for their championship aspirations.
He just looks comfortable, doesn't he? He looks like he's having fun. He's enjoying his basketball again.
Gotta find him.
Adnam on the wing. Gonna try and get that run up. You spoke about this Friday night, Hooley. In the end, it gets changed over when the defenders come over, so that's thrown straight back to him. Kept alive perfectly, but that man again, Ryan Brockhoff is doing it all. Lead is back to 10. Last 5 points from that man, and it's a double-digit lead.
He has been doing well, just getting on the glass. Isaac White just cops a little one for his troubles. That's never nice. You give up the offensive rebound, then you cop one to the chin, and then he goes and finishes, and then you call a timeout. That'll do me.
Who's in here? All right, let's go some dribble and some side. You can just dribble it straight, all right? You're coming into the on ball, you're in that high alley, all right? And then we got the 3-side opposite. So dribble it, bring either one of you over, all right? You want to do it right there, so he's got that spread. We got the 3-side here. Nothing on that. You're back in the middle of the floor, and we got C5. We got to keep the ball moving. Got to keep the ball moving. Reverse and transition. Right here. Come on now.
Something you've mentioned a fair bit there, Pete Hawley. Brian Goorjian stressing the ball has to move rather than sticking in a hand for a lot of that shot clock.
Well, that one play where Tyler Harvey came up short on the floater, they got it side to side, they got multiple screens. They knew they wanted to get him sprinting out of the corner into a handoff or on ball where they can't show hard because Joe Chi at the time was worrying about everything else that was happening. And that's going to come with ball movement, player movement, try and get some good looks. So whatever they're trying to set up here, they want to end in the C5, which is normally that on-ball screen from the big fella.
Froling, top of the key, couldn't get Ashley to commit. Conrad got Froling right place, right time, as was the defense of about 3 hands from the Phoenix, including Brockhoff, but it leads to Cleveland for 3, and the broken play 3-pointer. We see it so often, and they needed that, and they got it.
Tom Mace knocking that one down. A good hustle from Kyle Adam. There's the block. Kyle Adam chases this one down. You've got to throw it down your end or let it go. You can't throw it back underneath the basket of the opposition. Easier said than done. You're just worried about saving it, but either straight over his right shoulder down this end of the floor they're coming to now, or just let it go.
Go, go, go.
Great. There's a double team. He had White on his back. Ashley, Brockhoff, great quarter so far. Can't continue it there.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's the most athletic play of Kyle Adams' career. Wow. An offensive rebound, oop, and one. Look at this. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Former championship winning teammate of Pete Hawley's.
I've never seen him do that before.
Ever.
I've seen him do a couple of ball taps. I've never seen that.
I don't think he's ever seen that.
I think that's why he was smiling.
He had the big smile on his face. And he completes the 3-point play, which will make him even smile a little broader. His first bucket of the night. White. Trolling, thought about it. Tries to take Ashley off the dribble. In the end, he lost it. Ratan Mays was there, right place, right time, and now here's a chance to respond to Kyle Adams' 3-point play with one of his own.
Good effort from Ratan Mays, just getting inside Lee Arthur because Harry Froling fumbled it. And now you hear Brian Goorjian that timeout wanting the ball movement. You get stuck in the mindset of, okay, I'm not going to explore anything on the first side or the second side. We're going to go side to side. And then you're not even aggressive. So the Phoenix defense is never going to break down because you're never testing out where the breakdown's going to come from.
And on the other hand, too, I understand what Goorjian's saying. Sometimes you do need to swing that ball because Illawarra is so individualized. Everyone wants to go as soon as they touch it. They want to go and try to score. But if you move the defense around a little bit, then you get a better shot.
Cleveland, and they'll push the other way. Oh, that's going to count. That is an amazingly acrobatic, electrifying play. And their imports, a chance for back-to-back three-point plays, and this league could be back to 4. Liafa did his best, was never there. That is an outstanding shot. He knew where the camera was as well.
He always knows where the camera is, Antonius Cleveland. Speaking of athletic plays, hasn't he had a couple this season?
Yes, indeed.
It was a great pickup for the Hawks when you lose a guy like Justin Simon. I think Cleveland brings a little bit more on the offensive end. He still brings that defensive intensity as well. He's got that matchup on Mitch Creek, which you called for, Copes.
5-point Phoenix lead into the last 90 seconds of the third quarter. John Cain Arena, Sunday evening. Adam tries to draw the foul, not there. Now Cleveland will push again. And Glidden reaches in. He's like, hang on a second. Simon Mitchell thinking. They've got a coach's challenge.
How good is he when he gets that ball off the glass?
He just goes.
He goes. He gets there.
And good
Long
things
strides, yeah, just takes off. Hey, absolutely, because what happens when they are starting to shoot the ball well, when he takes it, everybody's worried about where he is, and you get Isaac White, Jessup, Tyler Harvey spotting up in transition. That's when they're at their best.
Last 7 for Illawarra. The lead is 3. Liafa curls off, gets it from Ashley, gets rid of Rattan Mays, can't finish it from 15 foot.
Here it goes.
And Cleveland again running off the rebound, and it's 2 more points. And he has changed this game, Coach.
He has changed the game. Give him the ball and move out of the way.
You're right, though. The first couple of steps just gets it. And then watch this. Beep, beep.
The best thing about it is you don't have to give him the ball. He just goes and gets it himself, and he forces good things to happen. And you know that how contagious this type of activity is.
Absolutely.
At least we had some movement before that.
Last 9 points for Illawarra. The lead is back to 1. We're going to have a listen to Simon Mitchell in a split second.
All right, can anyone?
Hey, I mean,
Let's have a look.
D-Trans is tough because we're messing up, throwing the ball around up this end, okay? You got to get that ball out of his hands, and Trans. You got to load in behind that guy, okay? Load in behind Cleveland. Hey, keep that ball popping a little bit. I didn't mind the last one, okay? I didn't mind the last one, but I still think we can get more sides to it. Let's come down. Let's come down. Let's go guard to guard. I want you coming out of the corner. Let's go into elbow action, okay? Read whichever. You can come off strong side or weak side. You get a read on that one, okay? Hey, if we don't have the catch and shoot, you got the post up.
Hey, we have 2 for 1 right now. Be smart.
Head coach Simon Mitchell.
Go too far.
Both coaches are sort of talking the same thing. They want to
stuff.
swing that ball. Ball movement creates better opportunity, I think.
Have a look right now. Cam Glidden, Liafa, they're going for a 2 for 1 quicks action. Everybody's seen the quicks action, quick little down screen. They did it for Ryan Brockhoff before. Just try and get that quick catch and shoot.
Guard to guard.
Creek. Guarded by Rattan Mays, gets all the way, floated with the right hand, no good. Froling, great save. Shot clock differentials around 6, a little more than 6 seconds. So there should be an opportunity for the Phoenix, but the Hawks right now with a chance to take the lead in the shadows of 3/4 time. Rattan Mays. Froling. Conrad. Got it. They're in front. Last play of the quarter will be for the Phoenix. Last 12 points for Illawarra. Craig short, and we have got ourselves a ball game. Last 12 points for the Illawarra Hawks, sparked by Antonius Cleveland. And we're 10 minutes away from finding out what happens on a Sunday night at John Cain Arena. Don't go anywhere. 4th quarter is next. Now this is good news. Lifesavers has launched a new range of Fruit Tingles chocolate balls and chocolate block is available now in supermarkets. And the new chocolate range is a fun new way to enjoy the iconic nostalgic Fruit Tingle crepes. I know you love Lifesavers that we all know and love.
Love them.
Get to your supermarket.
Love them.
We're underway. Who wins, Coach?
Well, if Jessup and Harvey can get going, Illawarra wins this.
Coach, you say Phoenix or you say Hawks. That's all you got to say.
I know. I wasn't asking for an
It's not the hardest question.
Okay. Well, I want to do the Gazy and ride that fence until the end of the game, bro.
Return May. That's nice. They are in a groove. The last 14 points has all been for Illawarra, and that lead is now 4.
Make no mistakes. This is the kind of game Return Mays is going to really enjoy. Tyler Harvey struggling. They need someone to score the ball. We know he's always looking to score, and he can fill it up. He's got a really good stops on a dime when he gets to that mid-range. It's behind the back.
Mumford turned it down. Shot clock now down to 5. Brokoff's going to have to get to work, and he's travelled.
Mumford's got to take that shot down.
Well, he didn't even look to shoot it at all.
You drive and kick, and you draw the defender, and you kick it to him, and they dribble back into the defense.
Simon Mitchell saying opportunity. It was a great setup, a little 1-2. I thought it was open, whether he just didn't have his feet set or what. And right now for the Phoenix, they've got to slow down Return Mays. He's got 17 points on 7 of 10 shooting.
Froling. One-on-one with Brokoff. Fades away. They're all feeling it.
That's a big body. What are you going to do?
Well,
how do you guard that?
That's a man who was going to shoot that ball no matter what. Tim Conrad had a front cut, was wide open. And Froling with the old, just fumbled it a little bit. I've got to now make a move.
Chi inside. First one no good.
On the head first. On the base.
It's going to stay down.
31.
It'll be on Harry Froling. Last 16 points for Illawarra. They found themselves in a 10-point hole late in the third quarter. And the game is 100% changed on the hand of Antonio Cleveland and his ability to be able to force transition. Liafa to try and end that run. Can't. Mumford kept it alive. He did. He did it really well.
Foul, Harry Froling again. Love the energy, but he's got across the head a couple of times. Well, it's definitely Cleveland, so here's Froling trying to get on the offensive glass and just, there's about 3 fouls in there.
I don't mind that, though.
No, you're spot on.
He's coming off the bench. He's not worried about fouls.
No, exactly. And you want to have the intent of going after every offensive rebound. That's going to want Brian Gorgon to keep you out there. He's got 3 now, so he's going to sit down. But Antonius Cleveland on the offensive end, he's also been that sole defender on Mitch Creek. He hit that 3. He's got 10 points, but Mitch Creek had 7 points early, and they made the change. Do it brief versus Mitch Creek is going to be a mismatch.
That'll count. Offhand, goaltend, little touch of the rear for the net. And that's how the run ends. 16 straight it was for Illawarra, who have their noses in front. Return Mays gets past. Liafa couldn't quite finish it. Now the Phoenix will want to run. Try and wrestle back this momentum in front of their home crowd of the 5 pick. Great pass, Brokoff, but came off the foot of Reed.
Question for you, Pete.
Please.
How long do you leave Harvey on the bench? I mean, he's struggling. Mays is playing great. Mays is obviously getting a little tired here.
Well, that's a good little out-of-bounds set there. Cleveland, not much you can do about that, but so often you see coaches, look, we're rolling right now with this lineup. I want to leave them out there, but also, can they play the whole quarter at this high rate? Probably not.
No, they can't.
Well, we saw it. Look, speak about playing when you're playing well. Cleveland's got to stay out there, but we saw the Duke North Carolina game today. North Carolina played the whole last half with their starters. No subs needed, and come away with a big win.
Use your timeouts to buy them breaks.
Maybe. Right. Well, we have seen that too, where you just, okay, I'm rolling, things are working. Then Tyler Harvey had a tough night. I think he'll throw him back in there at some point.
I think he will too. But this 5, led by Return Mays, off the bench.
He's coming back right now.
All right, in comes Harvey, and Return Mays takes a break.
back of the head. 2 shots.
So to answer your question, Copes, around 15 or 16 seconds before Tyler Harvey might come back in.
Right, thank you.
That right there is how you answer a question.
Yes. 2 of the heavyweights of NBL 22 going head to head. Laufer makes 2. The lead is 3. Speaking of that, Pete, didn't North Carolina just spoil the party in a half?
They won.
Jessup.
Too much space. Illawarra just...
He's heated up.
Slow.
Second half.
I don't think he was looking to try and shoot originally, but had the space. He's going to let it fly.
Illawarra.
Oh, good dot.
Reith says no, but while saving it, threw it back to Mumford. Shot clock. Reset.
Get out of there.
Wow. Short.
Well, I gave him his praises early because he was shooting the ball well to start with, but now he's 4 of 13 from the field and just 2 there in that possession. Down 6. I think the ball's got it. You still got to get Mitch Creek involved. And that is going to be a trouble there. It is good defense from Joe Cheek. Haley up for 14 points. 4 of 13. Got Brockhoff out there, 5-11. Mitch Creek, 5-11. Mumford, 4 of 10. Oh.
Great pass. Was cut off at the last second. And she lost it. He fumbled it.
I like Illawarra, but I don't know if he should be your go-to guy coming down the court. I mean, yes, he can get hot, but we've seen games where he could shoot you out of it as well.
Well, it's just something that I think he's going to have to continue to learn. But now he's in that starting role, so he's there for the defensive end. But again, know your spots as well, and know who you got around you.
Jessup. Reith over the top of G, and in the end, G let down when he kind of almost had him. We spoke about this on Friday night. Reith has earned himself a couple from 15 feet to extend the 6-point Hawk lead.
And it is a fine line, Cobes, because if you're Simon Mitchell and you say to him, look, you're shooting the ball too much or you're trying to make too many plays, then you take his confidence right away and all of a sudden he's not shooting anything. So it is that fine balancing act for Simon Mitchell because he has been good this season.
Jenny Screen is courtside.
Guys, at the three-quarter time huddle with obviously the Illawarra Hawks, there was much animation and energy from all the players. And then Brian Gorgon comes in and he goes, we look good when we run. How do we run? We get stops. He said, gentlemen, we are playing for our lives here, but let's enjoy the basketball game. And it's really been on the back of the bench players, and now we're allowing the starting 5 to come back in, and that's potentially why they have the lead.
Thank you. 7-point lead for the Hawks. Just under 6 minutes to go. Mumford, G, Illawarra, never looked like it. And Jessup gets the rebound.
Right now the Hawks are saying, okay, he's missed a couple. We're going to leave him, try and everybody rotate, clog up the paint. If it goes to Illawarra, they're going to live with that.
Oh, no! I can see it, that's why I've got it.
I remember last year Brian Gorgon was rolling with a couple of funky lineups down the stretch, and even one with ultra small ball. Dan Greeter was out there before when he came back from his injury at the 5 spot.
Yep.
And they were just running all small ball. Everybody was switching, and he kind of just stuck with it for a whole quarter.
New ball. Thank you.
Was that a suggestion of a flop warning?
On Brian Gorgon?
Not on Brian Gorgon, but on his team. There we go. Flop warning on Tyler Harvey. There you go. But didn't he get the foul?
How do you?
Well, no, it was on the original. Where he tried to take the roll from Joe G, and he just fell sideways.
Cool. Thank you, Harvey.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that play. He's struggling, and that's the best shot you can get.
Well, when do you bring Ratan Mays back in? 17 points, 7 of 11 in 19 minutes.
Because he's playing well, I'm bringing him back right now.
Don't run, Mitch.
He's ready to go too. Standing there waiting. His ball club has a 7-point lead in a must-win. Mumford, guarded by Jessup, who's had a really good second half. Broke off. There is Harvey Ashley. Tried to poke it free in doing that. Picks up a foul.
I'm sure Brian Gorgon, coaching staff, are trying to weigh that up over there. Return Mays is standing up in the corner. You know, he took that corky, so he wouldn't be sitting down. Trying to keep moving, be active, waiting for that.
Maybe he's standing up so the coach can see it.
That too.
That's one of my old tricks.
No, stand next to him. Oh, you used to stand on the scorer's bench.
Yeah, you just used to walk up and say, hey, I'm on you.
Everyone's a comedian.
There was one rule the coach said, just couldn't sub out Drewy. Jessup hits it from 18 foot.
There you go, the Hawks.
The lead is 9. He's got 12. Simon Mitchell wants to talk about it. And this Illawarra team who found themselves in a real hole now lead by 9.
If you were calling that I was.
Big turnaround. It has now been a 25-6 run since the 4 minutes left in the third quarter, Copes. What has changed? What has changed?
Cleveland. Cleveland's made the difference. The way he pushed the ball. Bad shots by Melbourne. Phoenix. Cleveland gets it out, pushes that ball, a couple of layups, gets everyone ready to go, enthusiastic about playing better defense. And then Return Mays has been exceptional all night.
It has been a big effort by an Illawarra team who, as Brian Gorgon spoke and has spoken to, desperately needs to start to win these games against the best teams in the league. They were just a tick under half the quarter remaining. They lead by 9. Copes, can you hit a full court shot?
I reckon you give me a couple of chances I can knock one down.
How many do you want?
Give me 2 chances.
Okay, well, if you do think you can do it, as we need to do, head to the NBL website, the win page, to enter for your chance to shoot for 100K in the Latrobe Financial Sharp Shot. Now, the good news is if you miss Copes, you want it to half court and you get a second shot for 50K.
I'll put it in my account, bro.
NBL website, win page, head there now.
Coach, oh, it's Turner. Coach, I'm starting to think you're unable to answer a yes or no question. Jessup, nice too.
Jessup steps into the passing lane. That is going to frustrate Simon Mitchell to no end. Out of a timeout, nonchalant bad pass, lead is 11. And this has been a huge second half by Justinian Jessup. Amongst others in the Illawarra Hawks, Mumford, got to get it, does.
They needed that.
And it's no surprise that Jessup got rolling because other guys took the pressure off the scoreboard with Return Mays and Cleveland on the defensive end. And then he started to fill it up.
Wow. Wow. Short.
You still got to be smart here, though.
Broke off 57th rebound to the night.
And although he can shoot it and make it, maybe a little bit too early on that shot, too far out on that shot. Move it around, make them play some defense, and get a better shot. And here comes my boy.
Conrad takes a seat. Return Mays back in. 17 points on the night.
Gone small.
17 points and a decent corky.
Well, I say
but
small.
He's been brilliant.
Oh, well, I say small, but it's Cleveland guarding Mitch Creek in the 4. So this is kind of the lineup that you'd expect. I think there's a lineup they can go with a lot.
Yes.
When we talk about the contending teams in the league, I think Cleveland versus Vic Law is a good matchup. I think Cleveland is Jack White, Xavier Cooks.
Reith just forcing his way to the bucket and now to the foul line.
You know what I like, though? I like the fact that Mays can play the point. Now you bring in Harvey off those down screens. He didn't have to dribble and find his own shot. He's coming off the screens looking to make the shot.
Phoenix have scored 6 points in the last 8 minutes. The Hawks, 25.
Is that good defense or better offense?
I wanted to say both, but you're going to throw that same thing. Not answering a question. Well, again, it's really been Cleveland setting the tone on the defensive end, which he always does, and then the offense is starting to really open up.
Nails both. Leads back to 10. Mumford to Creek. Kick out. Needs it. No good.
Smart.
From Brokoff.
Real smart from Tyler Harvey. He was never going to get that rebound falling out of bounds. Just tip it to one of your teammates.
Cleveland, 3.
Wow, he's been huge.
He's the reason they got this lead. He absolutely lit them apart when they trailed by 10 in the third quarter. And he might have just put a little bit of icing on the cake. They lead by 13. Creek, Liafa. Time is not really their friend right now. Creek for 3, needed it, got it.
So Liafa thought about it and said, look, I'll throw one more to Mitch Creek.
15 for Creek, 2.5 to go. Cleveland, same spot where he just hit a 3. That was interesting. And that's going to be over and back. He's trying to point. No, come off the Phoenix hand.
Oh, Phoenix, it came off the face. He's trying to strike. I thought he threw it straight into Mumford's face.
Front court, Mitch. He must have thought he was last to touch it.
That was, we've seen some ambitious things on the basketball floor. That cross-court pass was never there.
Never.
Well, unless it's a lob, that was supposed to try and go through 4 Phoenix players' bodies.
Mumford using the Brandon Ashley screen. He's going to try and bounce it through a couple of legs. Couldn't quite get there. Shot clock will reset. 14 on it. 2 minutes exactly on the game clock.
What I did like about that last possession from Cleveland, they were going to give him the 3 again, and he didn't have a rush of blood, just was stayed patient. In the end, may as well have shot it instead of trying to pass that, thread the needle.
Well, the clock's your friend right now. They need to.
Need long offenses.
That's right. Move that ball around. Make sure you get a good shot.
Mumford hit the last 3. Well, 2 ago before Creek. Now he's able to get it to go there. 13 for Xavier Mumford. The lead is 8. Reith. Long. Mumford with the rebound. Simon Mitchell urging. Ashley got it. It's back to 6, just under 90 seconds. Fire pit ready to explode.
Coach, you spoke about it. Just
being smart. I'm about to pop over here. Surely you can be smarter than that and get a better shot than that. Am I saying something wrong here?
Spot on. Well, I mean, and the Phoenix credits them. Get a stop. Make sure you get a good look down the other end. Brandon actually pick and roll.
Tyler Harvey, none of 7. None of 8. Creek's going to want to push. Mumford taken away by Rattan Mays, who tapped him from behind, and it leads to a layup. Leads 19. Timeout. Simon Mitchell wants to say, hey, this is what we need to do. But Rattan Mays, he'll be sore tomorrow. He'll have a corky the size of Tasmania. But he is now possibly 55 seconds away from having a W with it.
Oh, huge possession. Had it within 6. Mays is coming around the back to poke it away. He has been enormous. 19 points, super efficient. But that man right there, Antonius Cleveland, Copes, has been the game changer, the game breaker, and he's really been absolutely everything for the Illawarra Hawks.
Absolutely. Look at him. Whenever he got the ball, he's pushing it down the court. He's putting pressure on the defense every time the ball's in his hands. Knocking down the 3 a little bit more consistently than the beginning of the year. And finishing well.
That changed the game. That play changed the game. Rattan Mays just had a 3-point play. Then he had that, and it went from a 10-point deficit to a 4-point deficit. And all the momentum was with this team. And right now, they hold an 8-point lead. He has been incredible.
Well, 7 of 14 from the field. He's 2 of 2 from 3. And you know why? He's not a shooter, but he's going to take the wide open ones. That's all he's going to shoot. Everything else he's trying to attack, put heat on the rim. He's been excellent. And as we said, it was in that third quarter when he started to get some steals or even just take it off the defensive glass and run. No one put a body in front of him. And on the other end, defensive end, Mitch Creek has hit that last 3, but he's done an exceptional job in this last 20 minutes.
He's a quality player. Yes, he is.
Been a fun afternoon of hoops. It was the Wildcats led by Bryce Cotton. Surprise, surprise, earlier. Kings win their 6th in a row over Cairns, and now the Phoenix have to try and dig themselves out of an 8-point hole in under 55 seconds. That's going to help the leads back to 5. Brian Brokoff has 15.
Yeah.
Oh, Harvey thought about it.
Well, that's just
scared me.
It scared me too.
Hold up, bro.
He's trolling on him.
Well, he's going to go. He's getting 2 bonus here. Let's go to the line. Try and break the donut. He's on 0 of 8. It's been a really tough night in the office.
Probably his toughest since he's been here, huh?
No doubt. You know, it's going to help that feel a little better to get away with a win.
Jeez.
Still the donut. And now possibly a burger, all thanks to Hungry Jacks.
Surely not.
Surely, nah. He's too good of a player.
Nothing but net.
Okay.
6-point lead. 41 seconds. Creek pulls up. Got a good look with Harvey backpedaling. That's going to stay with Phoenix.
Great look. Somebody's got to get their hands up.
They're probably going to have a quick little look at it. And they just heard the referee there say that's all good. Do I need to look at it? Replay center quickly confirmed. That is, in fact, Phoenix ball. So one more stop here for the Hawks.
Mumford looking. Brockoff.
Again,
that's going to be out, so it will be an Illawarra ball after it bounced hard off the eye and then over the backboard.
Phoenix baseline out of bounds sets are so well ran.
Aren't they?
Brockoff there, looks like Mitch Cree's coming to get the stagger, but all he's doing is just actually rolling over Ryan Brockoff to set the screen himself. And
so Brockoff come up that high screen.
That was gorgeous. Yeah. They've done that so well. Brockoff, 2 of 11, 18% from 3. Just played really well, got on the glass, but just cannot get that shot to fall.
And they foul straight away. Justinian Jessup will walk 90-odd feet to shoot a couple of freebies. And these are the type of wins, Copes, and they're right there in contention already. These are the type of wins that solidify and steal you for a real run at a championship when you're a team as talented as Illawarra.
Absolutely. But more importantly, it puts you back in that 4. You know what I mean? Because if they lost this game today, it's going to be hard to get in that 4 the way the Sydney Kings are playing and the way the other teams are playing. So, and again, being on the road, Gordon talked about being on the road last week. Now it's you against the world. And sometimes when you're struggling at home, you play better on the road because, like Pete said, you can't hide.
You can't hide from your problems. That's all the issues they've had. They're going to be magnified, and you're going to have to work through them together as a unit. Probably the one mistake of the night for Cleveland, because now this game's not over.
Back to 5. Creek has 17. 3-point play opportunity.
So if you're Tony's Cleveland, you've just got to let that go. Last thing you got to do is give them a free point, because then you're going to rely on some free throws. 8 of 14 as a team tonight. Now the Hawks, and they can scrape out this win. Take a little bit away from the Phoenix, and then again, look at the teams that are slowly trying to cement themselves. I think Perth, their run of home games, I don't really see them dropping out. Sydney's got a nice run home. Melbourne United sitting pretty at the top. So this game is huge.
And Reith is going to slam the door shut, literally, at Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Brockoff, no good. Long rebound, out of bounds, right to the Illawarra bench.
Big win.
And Gores, we've seen that before.
He loves it.
He loves it.
He loves it, doesn't he?
He's happy. 10 points down in the third quarter. Looked to be in all sorts. And then went on a run.
Have you seen a goat fist pump? Look at that.
I've seen fist pump when they beat us in the championship. Yep, big fist pump.
That's a huge win.
Monstrous. Illawarra, that man there, Brian Gorgian, said they're going to go on the road and we got to win these games. And his players delivered in the second half in the biggest of ways. 83-77.
Amazing Cleveland in particular. Those two guys definitely, you see the little head check, definitely made a difference tonight.
Well, this is, I think, what really helps them. Tyler Harvey had 1 point and got nothing going in the game. You still get a massive win against the top 4 team on their home floor with Tyler Harvey struggling, so they know they can do it. It's just about locking in. And if you're Antonius Cleveland, he's going to be thinking, look, my tone, my energy on the defensive end changed the game to get out in transition. So there's a lot going to be riding on him as we get towards the business end.
Jenny Screen, courtside.
Guys, I'm here with Foot Locker Player of the Game, Antonius Cleveland. You were phenomenal tonight. But let's talk about, as Jawab tells you how good you were, you were 0-4 coming into this game against the top 4 team. What kind of win does this mean to you guys?
Oh, this is a big win. We're starting to play good right now when it matters, and we just got to keep stringing them together, and we can't have any slip-ups.
When you say you're playing good, where is that coming from? Why are you playing well?
I think everybody knows the answer. Defense. We're getting stops, we're better defensively, and we're playing together on offense.
Your bench was really great tonight. They held the floor, 25-6 run in the third into the fourth. A big man behind that was Mays. He had 19 points in 23 minutes. He was huge.
Yeah, 6th man of the year right there. I'll cast my vote for him. He's good enough to be a starter in this league, and when he comes and plays good, everyone follows. The same with Harry and the same with Isaac.
And let's talk about you personally. Great game. How does it feel to be able to contribute like that and get a win?
It's fun, man. To come here and play in front of these fans on the road, it's fun. It's what I live for. I'm just blessed and thankful to be able to do what I love.
Let's hope you can use that energy in the run to the finals. Good luck.
Let's do it. Appreciate it.
Foot Locker Player of the Game, Antonius Cleveland, as we have a look. And he changed the game as we spoke about. And of course, gave a shout out to the Awards Watch article of which you do on NBL.com.au, Hooli.
That's right, Hooli. Put a little pressure on you.
My only response to that is just maybe not speak for 48 hours. Rest that voice, but he was phenomenal.
He was. Big win. 6-point win for the Illawarra Hawks. Plenty more on the other side of this. The Hungry Jacks highlights. It was tied at quarter time. It was tied at half time. There was a 10-point Phoenix lead halfway through the third quarter. Liafa, continuing his great season, was able to find a few from the land of plenty. Kyle Adnam, in the words of Pete Hawley, his most athletic play ever. But that man changed the game. In fact, that play, thank you, Antonius, got them going. And Illawarra Hawks in a must-win game had all the highlights down the stretch. And it was a big win, 6-point win. And Leonard Copeland, this is the type of team that when they get going, they get Tyler Harvey going only to 1 point tonight, they are so dangerous.
They are, and Cleveland put him on his back. You know, Raton Mays came in and knocked down some big shots, and he led the team in scoring. He was fantastic, you know, and Cleveland spoke about him being he could be a starter, but he probably is in line to be Sixth Man of the Year if he continues to play like he's playing.
Big win, 15 for Ryan Brokoff, who really couldn't get his stroke either. Mitch Creek had 7 early, and it wasn't exactly a game that was dominated by fancy statistics, Pete, but in the end, big win.
Well, if you're the Phoenix, they've got a lot of three-point shooters, 8 of 35, 23% from the three-point land. That's not going to put you in a position to win a game when you're designed to. They've got to have double-digit threes each game makes just to be able to get over the line. Lose by 6, and again, Mitch Creek, 7 of 14. He was good, but Antonius Cleveland did a really good job to lock that up in the second half, and everybody else was trying to chip in. In the end, the Illawarra Hawks is going to do wonders for their confidence going forward.
What do you make of this South East Melbourne Phoenix team? They are in the top championship contenders, no doubt, but they've had some troubles being ruthless. Simon Mitchell put it on the agenda. They've had they could have put this game away that Illawarra is playing. They give the other teams opportunities, and unfortunately, a couple of these top teams have taken those chances.
Well, it is. I think a lot of it is, again, still the juggling act of what group works well together on the floor and trying to play. You're going to have your main 3 or so guys play 35 minutes in the crunch time. You look at Mitch Creek, he played 34. Ryan Brokoff had 35. And then Munford and Liafa, both over 30. And everyone else is just spreading it out. But in the first quarter, that's the time to get rhythm.
That's right.
And they play 10 guys. It's going to be hard to get that rhythm.
It's hard to get that rhythm.
Now, at the Amy ladder, we've seen the Sydney Kings win a little bit earlier. Perth Wildcats likewise. Look at that logjam. Melbourne United, after the win last night, atop. South East Melbourne Phoenix, well, they lose a game now, so they're 2 behind their crosstown rivals. Perth are about to go home and have a lot of home games on RAC. Illawarra on the road. Sydney have won 6 in a row. And you would think those top 5 teams is where the 4 playoff teams will come from, Copes.
That's exactly right. 5 doesn't go into 4, though. So the interesting thing is Sydney and Illawarra will definitely be battling for that 4th spot. I think Melbourne are in, Perth are in, but it's going to be interesting.
That percentage from the Kings and Illawarra, big differential. Kings, I know they won today, but missed a big opportunity against Cairns to try and help their percentage.
They could come back to that game against Melbourne, where they got absolutely belted earlier in the year. This is what it's about. We're only just over halfway through NBL22, and that's the best thing. It's exciting. Leonard Copeland, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Pete Hawley, likewise.
Always a pleasure.
You can get involved right around the nation at NBL and our socials. Hashtag NBL22. See ya.
I'm the man of the year. I'm a man with no fear.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Trade.
preceded.
Recording in progress.
This chick's not even singing? What's this chick's not even singing? Oh, yeah. I don't say it, is it? Headshot, that's a lot. Yeah. I'll take Spanish later.
It's a banger, low-key.
Alrighty, sorry for the delay. Who's up for the first question?
It's Adrian Warren from Australian Associated Press. Gorge, where would that probably represents, I think, the standout win or performance of the season for you guys, bearing in mind who you were playing and the significance of the match. Do you agree, or just what are your feelings about the overall performance?
100%. You know, obviously, we've come out of a home stretch where we didn't get done what we needed to get done, and now the pressure's on us for the rest of the year. And we got a lot of the top teams on the road. And this was the start of it, and everybody understood the significance of the game. So to win and to win the way we won was really important. I think, you know, you look over the course of the season, we've been probably the worst team at involving our bench and in depth of rotation. And tonight, we were in a hole, we were stuck, and I think over the last 4 or 5 games, we've started to get, and I've mentioned, more contribution from our bench. And tonight, really, both times we were down 13 or 12, I rolled deep into the bench, and I took them out to rest them. They carried us, they got us back into the game, and they were hugely significant in the win.
No question, and particularly, I guess that run you had just before the end of the third quarter, was it a case of really good D generating opportunities on offense and then being able to carry that momentum into the last quarter?
100%. You know, again, I mean, it's just we talked about a huge person to get involved in the game is Cleveland, AC, and how does he get involved in the game? He gets involved in the game in the open court. And he got involved that to get the open court, you got to get stops. And through most of the season, we've been one of the worst defensive teams in the competition, so it's closed that side of our game down. And I thought we did a really good job, and we've struggled on-ball defense. We've struggled with the Mitch Creek and the Vic Law. So AC's matchup there, that was big for us. And then that bench coming in and getting stops, and AC getting out on the run. Gave us easy baskets, took the pressure off. That basket got a little bit bigger in the fourth quarter because we got some easy ones, again, with AC running, playing off our defense.
And with Reckon Mays, it seemed like he took quite a bit of a bump there towards the end of the first half. It didn't seem to affect him too much, but what was the situation there?
Well, he got, and he's had a few, they set a lot of on-ball screens, and on-ball screens were trying to get into the ball harder, and he just got clipped. Nothing dirty, nothing intentional. He got clipped right on the hip, and those sting, but it wasn't something permanent. And again, that piece, you go back to last year when Tyler was getting mauled like he was tonight, and again, I say mauled in a respect on how the opposition defended him and closed him down and kept him from getting the ball. Having that other guard we didn't have last year in that form, and it also, he's good in space. He's strong. He's got big shoulders. He's thick-chested, and he gets down and gets on the rim. So that face guarding, we're penalizing, and that piece again was huge. It was huge tonight, and it was just a stinger.
And last one for me, obviously Harvey and Jessup both struggled in the first half. JJ picked it up in the second half. Did you say anything to him and Tyler at half-time there?
Absolutely zero. Just, I mean, you look at this competition, the lock-in on those two opened up the door for the others. And again, Harry, Isaac, AC, Xavier, you want to play that way, we've got some penalties, Duop. So when it mattered, again, they were huge. Tyler made, good decisions down the stretch. We had two guys that carried the ball. And then when we have nothing and we need a guy to make a play and it's a 5-6 point lead, again, JJ Jessup was great for us. So I just think he's a different player all the way around than he was last year. When he got closed down, he didn't really have an effect on the game. Where they crawl into him now, he's still very effective. And eventually, he breaks through free. And again, in that fourth quarter, he hit big ones for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, you're up.
And just to you, Harry, what were your thoughts of that game, and how big of a result is it? Because you were playing a team in the top four, you were down 10 early in the third quarter, but then probably delivered your best 15 minutes of basketball for the season, just about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a huge game for us, with how close the NBL is and the depth of the league, and we dropped a few at home that we shouldn't have dropped, and we're gonna have to come out and finish the season strong and win games on the road. So. I'm still figuring it out and trying to impact the game in ways when I'm not scoring the ball and when I'm trying to do other stuff. So I think I'm just trying to bring it defensively and bring energy with the bench guys and do what we can to get those starters a rest. And you look at those guys like the JJs and the Isaacs, the JJs and the Tylers, like those guys, yeah, they might have an off shooting night, but even the way they move off the ball, the way they're cutting, all that sort of stuff, it gets other guys free. And on the stat sheet, it might not look great, but they still have big games and we need them out there to be fresh and playing hard. So as deep as we can go on the bench throughout the season, it's going to help us.
And defensively, you probably take out the first couple of minutes of the third quarter, and it was probably as well as you've played for a full game defensively as a team this season as well. Yeah, for sure. For us to win, we're going to have to play defense, and that's going to have to be our bread and butter. So I think we came out, we got AC rolling, we got some steals. The rotations were all there. We sort of made some smarter decisions on who we're closing out and who we rotate to, and it was just good all around. Cleaned up the rebounds, and whenever you can hold guys to, we got Brockhoff to 2 of 12 from 3. Like, you can hold a guy like that, and they're a good shooting team. You can hold them to 8 of 30 or whatever they were from the three-point line. That's big. You touched on it as well. You found a way to impact the game without necessarily doing it with points as well, and I think the team was plus 24 with you on the floor. That's a great sign that you're probably a more well-rounded player right now as well, and not just a big guy that can score.
Yeah, I think it's the same as I said about JJ and those guys. Like, I don't need to score the ball to impact the game, and sort of on the other teams I've been on and in the past, I let that affect how I was as a teammate and how I worked out when I was like off the court and all that sort of stuff. So I think I've just tried to fix that a little bit, and Gorge has helped me get a lot better, and defensively I'm getting better, and if I can do that, then obviously there's games where I can have offensive outbursts, we know that, and if I